Well, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Jacob. I really appreciate you all taking out time out of your day to join me. First things, just in case, this is, in case people haven't watched the show yet, can you just go around really quickly, tell me your names, your pronouns, and who your character is, just so we can kind of get an idea of that before we jump in?
Hi, I'm Michael Cimino, he, him, and I play Victor in the new Love Victor series.
Hi, I am Bebe Wood. My pronouns are she, her, and I play Lake.
Hi, my name is Isabella Ferreira. My pronouns are her, she, and I play Pilar.
Hi, I'm George Sear. My pronouns are he, him, and I play Benji in Love Victor.
Amazing. First thing I wanted to know is, what was your first introduction or your first time you saw Becky Albertalli's work, whether it be the book or the movie, and what was that like?
Go ahead, Vivi, you go first.
Okay, I was aware of the book, and I hadn't read it, but I saw the movie first. I read the book, and then obviously love Creekwood. So I've been a fan of her work for a while, and she has been a part of my world since the book came out.
Yeah, actually, for me, one of my friends had seen Love, Simon in the movie theaters in the cinema, and he connected to the story so much that he went and watched it 3 more times. So that's the first time I heard about it, and I thought, wow, this sounds like, I had that impression of it. And then when we started, and then I wanted to save the film till after we had finished filming, because I had some weird superstition about, something.
Well, for me personally, one of my friends actually went to a performing arts school, and before the movie came out, they were holding a pre-screening at one of the theaters in my town, and I was really excited because it was like, oh yeah, it's like a premiere kind of thing. And she invited me, so I went and I saw it, and I was like in love with it. And Becky had sent me the book, so I was reading that while I was working on set.
And for me, I watched the movie when it first came out in the movie theaters, and I loved it. And then I watched it a whole bunch more in preparation for the show. So probably 16 times I watched the movie. So
Well, and with all of that, was there anything else specifically that any of y'all did to familiarize yourself with the world? I mean, because not only is there the first book that she's kind of written, there's a whole Simon verse at this point, as people are calling it. Was there anything else that specifically you did to kind of prepare or get ready for the show?
I think that Becky is such a excellent writer. Her worlds are so vivid and colorful. And so just from seeing the film and then, reading the book, I feel like I had a good sense of what Creekwood was like. I haven't read Leah and the Offbeat, but I have it marked down as something I would like to read in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a tone in the book where you feel like you're in the world of these high schoolers, and it's very much that's what I love about a good book, is when the world is there. You open the book, you start reading it, and you're back in you're back with these characters. And I think that's what translated well into the movie. When I watched the movie as well, I thought they kind of managed to get that same sort of tone in there somehow, which is a sign of a good adaptation, I think.
Yes.
I'm so sad I didn't have Oreos for my binge day yesterday. But I did have iced coffee, so
we didn't have Oreos growing up. No, we didn't have them in the UK till
oh really
10 years ago or whenever. Yeah, I remember my dad used to have to sneak them onto the plane. They were hot property.
Well, what is everyone's Oreo of choice then? Well, we're on that. I mean, there's double stuff. What does everyone go
Double
for?
stuff, all the way, double stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say double stuff for me.
Classic.
I'm a double stuff guy.
I like the classic.
I used to be a double stuff or even a mega stuff, but recently I've reverted to thins.
Thins. Wow.
Mhm.
No one
Wow,
said,
George, you're so healthy.
No one said
I
the
know.
golden Oreos, so everyone will be on Becky's good side. So then, what was? I mean, obviously, you all kind of knew the world ahead of time, but what was it about this project specifically that kind of drew you to it? Was there anything other than knowing the world already?
I think that, at least for what drew me to love Victor was that, it was such an incredibly written piece, and I knew that it could really change people's lives, and that's what really drew me to it. And obviously I loved the movie already, and that really, I was like a fan of the movie, so that really drew me to it as well. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think what really drew me was it being a leading Latinx family. I think that was pretty amazing because obviously in like the Latinx culture, it's kind of like taboo to like talk about, LGBTQ, but I'm so glad that it's finally opening up and it's becoming more of a topic of discussion. And so I think that's definitely something that drew me to the project.
I agree with that. I'm half Cuban, and that's always a interesting point of discussion in my mother's side of the family. So that was something that drew me to love Victor specifically. But I think honestly, I was just such a fan of Becky in the world. When I got that first email that said like "Love Simon" spinoff, I kind of like got very excited.
Well, then, I mean, because Michael, you said something actually that I have down for later, but I want to go ahead and bring it up. You mentioned kind of saving, the effect it can have and saving people's lives. And one thing I said is that I genuinely do think this show is going to save young people's lives. I know if I had this growing up, it would have been groundbreaking. And especially, I mean, specifically, I want to mention episode 8. There's something about episode 8 that really, I think, is going to really just have a big effect on people. And I want to know, is that something you knew? Did you feel that while filming that this was going to be something that special, or is it kind of been a surprise?
I think, I always kind of had like a feeling like that this project was really going to affect people like from the get. But I don't think that I knew how much it would, if that makes any sense. Like I literally have people writing me like the letter that I wrote to Simon in Love Victor, that Victor wrote to Simon in Love Victor. I have people writing me those letters and just like telling me their stories and like what's going on with them, and like how much this show has like changed their life and how they're going to come out to their families, or if it's still still work in progress. And like that is like something that's like, holy crap, like that's amazing to see like how much it's affected them in such a short amount of time. Like it's only been out for not even 2 days. Like
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
And it's so
Amazing.
funny
It's
that you
crazy.
mentioned episode 8, because on Twitter yesterday, I asked everyone what their favorite episode was, and literally everyone said 8. Everyone said 8. And I was like, I mean, I agree. I completely agree. It was so cute. I loved it.
I also, I think a lot of people are clinging to it's also a very nostalgic episode.
Yeah, Simon.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Are we
Definitely.
allowed to talk about like spoilers and?
Oh yeah, we're allowed to talk
Yeah,
about.
we can. Yeah. I mean, it's out now, right?
It's out. Yeah.
It's out.
I'm obsessed with episode 8 for many reasons, but Katya is one of them. 100.
Oh yeah.
Well,
That was one
By the way, Kata is so cool.
I asked actually
so dope.
some of my friends what they would ask you guys just to kind of get some other points of view. And one of my friends wanted to know, Michael, what working with Katya was like.
She was so dope, and like how like she is in the show, she was just like that, like in real life, like just like totally just like off the cuff, like was just like, wait, did they wind up putting the splits in? Did they put the splits in? I don't remember.
No, I don't.
Oh, so originally she did the splits when she walked out on stage, and then she got back up and was like, "Oh, I pulled a hamstring," and they're like, it was so great. Like she was just like a showstopper.
I'm a huge fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, so that was one of the best days ever. Meeting Katya was just obsessed.
Well, and kind of going off episode 8, I wanted to know, Michael, what was it like? And I guess I don't know who else was around during that episode filming those scenes. What was it like working with some of the kind of OG Love Simon group? And also not even just episode 8, but also I didn't know it was happening, but in episode 1, when Miss Albright popped up, I screamed.
Yeah.
One of the best characters in the movie. What was that like?
Honestly, it was really incredible. You know, like getting to work with the cast that worked on the original movie was like, I don't know, it really like made me want to step up my game, you know, because they're all so good, and I felt like a responsibility to continuously carry the torch in a way that, you know, paid homage to the movie, because like that movie was so freaking good. Like I had to, like, you know, there's a standard to it with like uphold when it, like when we were doing this, for sure.
Well, you definitely did, mate.
Thank you.
One thing I want to know, and this is just, you know, for fun, I want to know, you personally and also with your characters, who would you be friends with from the original Love, Simon series, and who would your character be friends with from the original? And I know that's easier for you, Michael, because you actually, your character did interact with them. But like, you know,
Yes.
the Becky's world is
Ooh, that's a
so
good question.
expansive at this point, and who would you kind of cling to?
Okay, I think in real life, probably I would be friends with Bram and Simon. I think they're like, those are like my type of people for sure. And I was like also really good friends with Kian as well. So like in real life, because like we just got so cool, and same with Nick. So, but yeah, that would probably be my answer.
I think Lake would really enjoy Leah's energy. I feel like they share some energy similarities. I think in life I would probably be friends with Bram.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely in real life, I'd definitely be friends with Bram. And I think Milad would be friends with Abby. I think she's also kind of like feisty in her own way. She's really cool.
I don't really know, but I guess Benji would probably be friends with, well, I think he could get on with most people, but
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. I mean, he's into music.
I like how serious you're taking it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, what would happen? Maybe we need to ask Becky and see if she can write something, some backstory thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
we'll leave that one down to her.
Love Creekwood is coming out June 30th, which is very exciting, and you have it. Do you feel like it did a good job kind of tying in her world into this new world? Because I know Becky like didn't really have a whole lot of writing to do with you know, Love, Victor, but like it's definitely her world. And so I want to know like what your thoughts are now, having looked at the novella, kind of how it tied in, and do you think it worked? Do you think it was good?
I mean, I loved the book. It was so fun to sort of hop back into that world, and I think it does a great job of sort of filling in the gaps, and sort of, I don't know, letting fans know or readers know how Simon, how Bram, how they ended up in New York, and sort of how they adjusted from high school to college. And with that information, I think the show will make a lot of sense. And it would make sense without that information, but it's almost just like little treasures. Like you know all of the information, so it makes Love, Victor even better knowing that information, I think.
I agree, and I think it was also really fun that they added in like Abby and Leah's story, and like how they're also adjusting with like college life and things like that. And so you basically just get to go on the journey with the four like main friends, and it's really fun. And I think it was a great book. So
Yeah, well, and like with that, because I know Becky was on set for a couple of days. Was there anything that kind of was in this that she told y'all beforehand, or was there anything that she kind of told you that were secrets? That, I mean, not that like Snape or Alan Rickman being told about Snape. Was there any secrets like that she got to tell you guys that?
I think, you know, her main thing was, and it was so lovely and fantastic and infectious to see, but she was just so utterly joyous and proud, I feel like, when she was there, to see the aftermath of something she'd written. I tweeted during the premiere of the show, like, Simon is speaking. I repeat, he is speaking. This is not a drill. And I think she replied, and she was like me sitting in front of my Google Doc in 2013. And so I think it was just really exciting for her to see everything sort of come to life.
Yeah, I wasn't even supposed to be on set the day that she came by, but just happened to like join my friend who was on the Paramount lot for something else. So I was like, oh, I'll come with you, and you know, we'll visit set and make a thing of it. And it was great. It just was like one of those amazing coincidences that she was there as well. I was so glad I got to meet her. She was so lovely and so nice. We didn't talk about like any of the backstory stuff or anything about Creekwood, but she just was so nice. She was so lovely, and yeah, I'm so glad I got to meet her, because I haven't, you know, it just was great.
We didn't get to discuss any like secret stuff about you know, like the Love Creekwood universe, but we did get to just like kind of just like chat, and I got to know her a lot better, and she's so freaking sweet, dude. Like she was just so nice to me, and this is like, you're doing a great job, and I'm so excited to be here, and I got you a book, and it was just like so nice, and she was just incredibly sweet to me.
She's one of the nicest people in the entire world.
So
absolutely. Why do you think stories like this are important to get, whether it be the book Love Creekwood or Love Simon or Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda or the TV show? Why do you think it's so important to get these stories into young people's hands? Because at the end of the day, like, it was a young adult book that was made for high school students. The world has kind of latched onto it, but like, why is it important for those people, do you think?
Representation is really important. Seeing yourself in a character that is being broadcast to many people is like the biggest sense of catharsis I think one could have. That's an important thing. Like, sharing these stories that mean so much with people who, you know, may not have been interested in a story like this prior. You know, I think that's another lovely element about it as well. But I think seeing someone like yourself go through similar things to, you know, your own self, it's an important thing.
And I think like you said, like if I would have grown up with a show like this, I think things would have been a lot different, especially like within my friend group and just like my family in general. Being able to see something like this on TV when I was younger, you know, things definitely would have changed, like, you know, with the energy and just like what thoughts on things and stuff. So I think it's amazing, obviously.
I agree with you on that one for sure.
Yeah, and I think to piggyback off of Bebe's point, like, I think, you know, being part of the LGBT community is not something that like runs in your blood. You know, it's like being Latino is like, oh, hey, like this is a set of issues that will always follow you no matter where you go, because of the color of your skin or because the way you look, because of what ethnicity you are. But when you are born and you are part of the LGBT community, usually no one else in your family is part of that. And so it's kind of hard to understand what's going on, especially if like people in your family are uncomfortable talking about it. So I think having stories like these kind of give a roadmap for people to understand how to navigate the world when they are part of it.
Well, and
understand that it's completely normal as well.
Right.
That's
right.
like a thing that's like very important.
Off of that, and this is actually a question that originally came up for Bebe. You've actually now been on 3 of some of my favorite queer shows after Love Victor. So is that something that kind of you were drawn to, you know, queer storytelling? And I mean, that can go for everyone. Is queer storytelling something you're really interested in?
I mean, funnily, I think it's mainly a coincidence. But I mean, it isn't necessarily a coincidence to me. I owe everything to the LGBTQIA community. You know, I was raised and influenced by, you know, friends of my parents and family members who are members of, you know, the community. And I wouldn't be who I am without that community. So in a way, it's a coincidence, but it also feels like a thank you, just because I do owe so much, like, I don't know, I owe so much to, you know, the community and these people in my life who I love very much.
For me personally, I think, you know, ultimately, a good story trumps all. But for me personally, I feel like, you know, I do want to tell stories that need to be heard. And right now, stories like this one, stories about the LGBT community, need to be heard. And kids need to understand that, kids and adults need to understand that this is completely normal. This is completely normal. And, you know, helping people understand that is vitally important to making a change. And I think providing perspective is very important, and that's what we do as artists, is try to provide as much perspective as possible. And so with that, the show is a great way to show a different story through a different lens, or like a similar story through a different lens, more so, because, you know, Victor's of a different economical class, different ethnicity. So I think that those are all things that play really, really well into this. And obviously Becky did a great job of creating this beautiful universe to inspire a lot of young kids to be who they truly are.
And that's even something that I love that the show actually even kind of hits on, is like, this is not your story, Simon. This is, I'm very different. So I think that kind of hammers that home really, really well.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like being an actor, like, you know, sometimes the jobs are few and far between, right? So when you get to play a character that people actually, it means something to someone and they see themselves in that character and connect to it, that's a really beautiful thing, and something that, you know, you feel quite proud when you get these messages from people that say such lovely things. And yeah, it's just really, I just feel really like grateful to have that, you know, to experience that.
For sure. And I mean, I think it's really empowering to be a part of something that's going to impact so many lives. And, you know, a story like this, a story like Victor's, and a story like Simon's, and basically to just let everyone know that everyone's story is different, you know, no two stories are the same. And I think that's really important for people to know.